I think what's so special about running is that there's such a delayed gratification. You don't know until, you do the damn thing. Currently dealing with a slight Achilles injury. After Chicago, I took, a couple weeks off, and just first run back, just Achilles flared up out of nowhere, and just kind of hurt to walk, and it was like probably like 8 out of 10 pain scale, and just didn't go away. Didn't even try running, just went to physical therapy. So as every runner knows, like, they're trying to get back into running as fast as possible without injuring themselves again. So that's kind of what I'm doing. A little hard to get not antsy about it, but yeah, I guess that's what today and this whole entire week is for. Not prescribed to run 2 miles consecutively either, so I'm trying to balance like the doctor's orders versus what the heart tells me to do. So I'm doing all the right steps, so just kind of being patient with my body and listening to what it needs, and then just kind of taking the opportunity when I'm have a full bar of health. Last month has been kind of a roller coaster of emotions. I feel like I've been lacking on my training, but at the same time, like, I've been pushing myself like to the absolute limit, like based on what I can do. I am still recovering from my Achilles tendonitis injury. Really hard in the winter time too, because it's dark, it's cold, you don't want to get up, and that running or going to the gym or biking for an hour on a stationary bike is the absolute worst thing that that you want to be doing. I haven't had a natural training block. The goal of 245, I've kind of, tossed it out the window a little bit, just because that would be a little advantageous. But I still want to, do the best that I can, given, the amount of health that I have right now, and I want to, get in the best shape that I possibly can. If anyone knows me, or the people that know me the best, that they know that I'm a huge advocate for trial by fire. I think a lot of growth happens in, the hardest times of your life. About a month or two ago, when I was, really injured with my Achilles, it almost felt like I couldn't be myself. I think a lot of the things that I like to do, I love to move my body. I love to, be outside. I love to, explore nature. By not running every single day really just kind of played a huge role on like my mental capacity and like my mental image of like my capabilities, if that makes sense. I always like to hold myself to a higher standard. I feel like everyone that I know would probably agree with that statement, and it's like the standard shouldn't be like the bare minimum. And so by not being able to run every single day or push myself every single morning really was a mental toll on my confidence level, on my just abilities, and just kind of belief that I can do difficult things. So we're going 10 miles
longest run since October, and we're about 2.25 miles right now, and feeling good. Like 20 minutes of elevated heel raises. That's really what running is. We're at 6 miles. Longest I've ran in the last 13 weeks is 7 miles. So I put up 24 miles last week. Planning on doing like 32, 35 this week. But we all know that I've done ridiculous marathon times out of 40-mile week training blocks.
Like it's kind of mental too to come back.
Yeah. Well, because right now it's like having someone to run with is nice because I'm not thinking about my Achilles the whole entire time. I feel like we've been talking about Tokyo for so long now. And like for it to be about a month out, and like talking to my parents on what to pack and what to bring, I realized it's the end of January and I'm leaving at the end of February, which I'm always like, oh yeah, Tokyo's in March. Yeah, it's down the line. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, the only 2 people in the whole country in Tokyo will be my mom and dad cheering me on. And everyone else from afar. After like a morning run, I'm always expecting like in the afternoon for my Achilles to flare up and be like, all right, like wrap it up, like we're done. But we're feeling good. It's like, all right, maybe we go like 13, 14, like next week. Yeah. Try like carbon fibers a little bit.
In the past, the way that people would view my training or like my marathon success often, doesn't regard all the trials that I've been through. And every single time that I, step on the race line, I'm nervous, even though I don't really show it a whole lot. A lot of people, they say like, this is your 9th marathon. Like, what are you worried about? Like, you've done this millions of times. Like, you're going to do great. And well, while that is, beneficial, or I love that support, a lot of times they don't see, all the injuries, or they don't see like all the hard training days that I've had, or all the setbacks that I've had. A lot of times people just see like the quote unquote success that I've had in the marathon world. And so just kind of having like a major setback like my Achilles injury is pretty humbling, and pretty discomforting to like how people see me and how people kind of, I don't know, like view my like success, I guess. I feel like for people to kind of have like an insight or to know that I'm injured is often like a vulnerable piece, where it's like, oh, I don't want them to know that I'm not running every single day or waking up at 5:30 every single day. So my senior year of high school was probably the most defining injury that I had. I collapsed a lung senior year going into the outdoor track season. Ended up being in the hospital for a couple of days, and
just had a chest tube in my, right rib cage a week after I was out on the track. Back in 2019, I was going into the Boston Marathon with a knee injury, and then 3 weeks later, because of the expedited COVID schedule of the World Majors, I ran the New York City Marathon. If I could overcome a collapsed lung, if I could overcome doing 2 World Major marathons in 3 weeks, I think that I can do Tokyo Marathon after recovering from an Achilles tendonitis injury. So every single week, I want to have a little bit of a challenge, just kind of getting into that marathon spirit. I'm really just going to have to dial in like the mental fortitude of, what am I going to do when the marathon pushes back.
So that's what today is. Just kind of getting used to racing shoes, and if I need a switch, also an reintroduction and reintroducing some speed into the training build if I can. 3, 2, 1. 5:43? No way. Yeah. 5:43? I gotta slow it down. Yeah, two miles on the track, just kind of testing out the carbon fibers again. I haven't worn them since Chicago, so just kind of a little fearful to go back to carbon fibers just because they're really tough on the Achilles. Imagining doing like 26 miles and in like after 12 weeks of like recovery just kind of was a little bit scary, but I don't know, I feel like today kind of gave me a little bit of confidence in the fact that I probably can wear these in Tokyo and be just fine, and maybe I'm in better shape than than I think.
Other than my physical challenge of, recovering with my Achilles, just the added pressure of running for the Japan Cancer Society. Obviously, that's a privilege that I have, but at the same time, with privilege comes pressure. My dad was diagnosed with prostate cancer a couple years back, and, also my grandfather passed away from pancreatic cancer when I was in high school. So just kind of that history with cancer is always a tough one to, manage, especially when that's added on to a marathon.
I mean, I guess you can kind of compare like his relationship to running to any relationship, just having that determination. I mean, he definitely does the same in any of his friendships. He does that with me, family members as well. Just seeing that pain point and seeing what he can do to work past it and grow from it.
How are you feeling about Tokyo?
Feeling good. I just don't know what pace to go out in.
We talked about it.
But I'm
We're
like,
talking about it 5 times.
if I go out in like a 6:50, is that going to allow me enough time to like negative split the time that I want though?
6:50 through half puts you 10. You need to be like 15 seconds a mile faster on the second half.
I mean, 15 seconds.
Yeah, but that's if you hit your absolute like A goal.
Right.
So go out and if you're aiming for 6:50, you're gonna have some 6:45s in there.
Right.
So let's just call it 10 seconds a mile. Can you go 2:10 faster on the back half? Yeah.
Probably, yeah.
Okay, there's your answer.
But I've never negative split it.
Okay.
Never split it. I've always positive split or like them equal.
You've never been freelance until you did.
All right, brother. All right.
Enjoy.
Thank you. It's the week before I leave for Tokyo, just like a nice and easy treadmill run. It's pretty snowy outside, so just kind of go for 45 to 50 minutes, just kind of nice and easy. Achilles is feeling really good. Had a little minor heel pain about a week or two ago, and that was kind of worrisome just because plantar fasciitis and Achilles tendonitis kind of go hand in hand a lot of times, but felt really good, and that kind of just went away over time. And got some good quality long runs in, and then also some speed workouts throughout the week intermixed with kind of my midweek long run, and hit the times that I wanted, and kind of building confidence that I could actually kind of maybe do something special on the roads of Tokyo.
And especially since I don't feel physically fit enough to run like my absolute hardest, it's like, did I do enough? Did I deserve my spot at the Tokyo Marathon if I run less than a 2:45? And that's kind of a tough pill to swallow, just because I want to do my absolute best. And I feel like fundraising for the Japan Cancer Society hits home, I think, for a lot of people. That's why I write the names on my arm as well, to kind of remind myself that, other people have gone through tough things and even harder things than the moment that I'm at now. So knowing that I have more in the tank than I do is really empowering, and hopefully just kind of having that mindset and that positive mindset when things kind of, head south.
Athletes that are very elite and train very hard, they also need to recover very hard. And I think for a lot of people, that is sort of a missing component of their training regimen. And it's so beneficial, because when we are activating the parasympathetic nervous system, the body is just repairing and healing, and all of the things that are preventing it from you being successful are fixing themselves. And so it really enables athletes to optimally recover so that they can keep building on the gains that they're making when they are training hard.
To have the opportunity to run at Tokyo is extraordinary.
I just want him to be proud of himself. I think it's a big accomplishment to just be going, and it's, for a lot of people, it's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity.
Having the reflection moment of, I did the damn thing, and I also, fundraised for a really good cause that's going to impact a lot of people and help a lot of people. And to bring all of those memories and all of those moments back to the States, I think is going to be really rewarding.
I think like for this training block, it's a little bit different, because I feel more like gratitude when it comes to my block, like coming off of 12 weeks of just like being completely injured, not really, being able to run, not knowing if I were gonna be running Tokyo either. And then, having a good training block, all things considered. So it's just a wave of gratitude instead of, a wave of doubt or confidence. And I feel like just me going to Tokyo and being able to run, I don't know what I'm gonna be able to run, but just going there is like the goal in itself. And so we'll see what I can do. And any time goal is really just like icing on the cake at this point.
So if you had a message to yourself when you're passing that finish line, what would that message be maybe?
I think the message that I want to convey to myself after I cross that finish line is, like, you can do difficult things. You can influence people through running, and like my journey, like it's not just for my own gratification, but it's, to show other people that they can do hard things. And hopefully that this series inspires people to, go out and tackle their marathon. It doesn't have to be an actual marathon, but like the trial that
is set before them, like they can overcome it. And after they tackle that barrier, you could go on to the next. And that builds confidence in doing difficult things. And Tokyo is not the finish line. Like, it's just one step of the journey. Pressure is a privilege when it comes down to it. And just kind of taking, you know, every single marathon for what it is.
Let's go, let's go!